Aside from my soul.
Shawty, a little baddie. Shawty, my little boo thing. Happy Halloween, witches. It's a very special episode, so we dressed up. I even bought a web. I don't know if you can see it. It's purple. Got it at Party City.
It's actually a Target sign.
It's actually a Target sign for when death
She
is looking
tried,
for
but
me.
it's purple and it has a spider, so it counts.
Exactly. Are you spooked out yet? Is it freaky in here?
Boom.
Is my room haunted? On the special Halloween episode, we are going to be discussing Hubie Halloween and reviewing The Witches, comparing the new one to the old one. The new one starring Anne Hathaway. Woot. I don't really mean that, and we'll get into that later. So first while we're dressed up, we're going to discuss Hubie Halloween. And I say discuss and not review because this is a movie that does not really need to be reviewed because it's an Adam Sandler movie.
Adam Sandler has his own category.
Yes. It's the Adam Sandler movie category, and Uncut Gems is the only one that's not included because it's not an Adam Sandler movie. And when we say Adam Sandler movie, we're talking about Waterboy, Happy Gilmore.
Yeah. Honestly, we don't even need to explain.
Little
you know
Nicky.
who he is as a general character, and these all follow.
Exactly. If you're watching Hubie Halloween, you know exactly what you're getting yourself into.
Yes.
If you expected something else, you're just silly.
It wouldn't start with Hubie.
No.
Hubie?
I know. I keep saying Hubie.
I know. It's
Hubie
rubbing
doobie.
off on me. Yeah.
Hubie Halloween.
Anyways.
Hubie Halloween. So Hubie's his name.
Yeah.
If you didn't get that by the title.
He's this character who runs around with a canister of soup.
Canister.
A
thermos.
Same
Canister. Same thing. Yeah.
shit. I just made a Western. Anyways, so he lives in Salem. He takes Halloween safety very seriously.
Very seriously.
Which honestly, like, not a joke, but like,
Give speeches.
but he makes
out
himself
flyers.
a joke. He is on patrol. No one designated him. He does it.
He takes danger very seriously. There's a montage of him like walking into the police station like multiple times being like, there's an old lady stuck here.
Yeah.
Like it's just that montage is actually kind of funny because it just talks about all the times he's reported things to the police that weren't really emergencies or anything to worry about.
Yeah.
I don't know. I chuckled to that part. Got a little laugh out of me.
He grew up in that town, but he's still essentially a child, and like
Lives with his
children bully
mom.
him.
Yeah. Children bully him.
He always talks about this girlfriend he has in Canada.
He has a girlfriend in Canada. Yeah. He's in love with his like not even
Childhood crush.
childhood crush. Yeah.
They
who
grew
happens-
up together. And
Yes.
yeah, that's weird as well.
It is also just because she's also like has this huge crush on him, but also whatever. It's an Adam Sandler movie.
You know,
Whenever you find yourself getting upset in the movie, you just have to remind yourself that you're watching an Adam Sandler movie. You're just like, ugh, but I don't understand. It's not realistic. Oh,
Yeah,
it's an Adam Sandler movie.
He caught what was the eggs?
Literally the
I
first
keep on
minute of the
wanting to say
movie.
canister.
Eggs. He catches eggs and
These children are pelting it at him while he's riding a bike.
Yes,
And he
catches it in his
them,
mug like sideways. All of the eggs,
shakes
it up.
Drinks it.
And vomits all over the sidewalk, and that's like Adam
Within
Sandler
the first
movie.
like 5 minutes.
Yes, not even like 2 minutes. It happened so quickly.
It was the intro.
And he goes delicious or something like that. He goes like, oh, like thank you for breakfast or something like that. And his voice too. It's the same as every other Adam Sandler movie. Waterboy, Little Nicky. It's just a combination of all of those voices, but it's pretty similar.
Overall, I think that the time for his comedy has passed. I think it's very outdated.
It is. But you know what? What I will give him is that during this time, we do need some stupid laughs. Let's get goofy. Let's get goofy up in this witch. You know what I mean? It's hard times out there, and we needed an Adam Sandler movie. And even though it's bad, and we could all collectively agree that it's bad.
Yeah.
It's,
No, yeah, I could never bash it.
Yeah. I would never say.
But
awful things.
But I also don't think I could ever just
Watch it again.
sit there and watch it. Everyone, let's get together and
Yes,
watch.
it's like a multitasking movie put in the background.
good
You'll still
background
get
noise.
the whole experience.
Yeah.
You're not missing out on anything. What's cool about the movie too is the cast. They kind of throw it back. It's like a family reunion. And it's like everyone from Grown Ups, Rob Schneider, Steve Buscemi, Kevin James, Ray Liotta, Ben Stiller. Like
a
it's
lot
just
of features.
Yes, and that's what makes it fun. It's because you're not getting just Adam Sandler, you're getting everyone else too, and they're funny.
My favorite one is the radio host.
Oh, it's Shaq.
It's a woman, but then it's Shaq, and then her.
And he has a radio station voice, and it's a woman's voice.
I
He's like,
said her.
listen to like ghouls and goblins, like
It's like a foxy,
like a sensual woman's voice.
Yeah,
It's Shaquille. It was goofy, you know you're getting yourself into.
There were definitely parts that I was like,
I got a chuckle out of you, yeah.
Good one.
They're gonna get you a couple times, so be ready for it. You're gonna hate it. You're just gonna leave your mouth. You're gonna be so mad.
Okay. Also, I felt like it was important to state I appreciated that they had originally Cameron Boyce was supposed to be the deli guy. What's his name? Mike. His name was Mike.
I don't know. Their names are unimportant to me because you don't
you're
remember
right.
any of them. Hubie's the only one that matters. But his deli
He was
coworker, Cameron Boyce, was supposed to play. But he died before
Oh my god.
filming.
Right. Yes. Okay. So instead, his friend, like his best friend, he lived with him, and I'm gonna butcher his name. So sorry. Karan Brar.
Okay, we're taking it. We're running with it.
Yeah, he was in Jesse with him, like growing up. They starred in that together.
Yeah.
And so I think that it was nice that they gave the part to his friend.
And still credited him in the movie.
They still credit, or at least on Google, they credited his pictures there.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, so that I respected. Next.
Valid. But, I don't know. It's definitely one of those things that you can see. It'll take up space in your head that you could fill with other things, but you only live once. And, might as well just watch all the Adam Sandler movies, get it out. It's like a bucket list.
But we were dedicated to the Halloween theme.
Yes.
And
you want to do something goofy, and I feel like it is worth the conversation.
Yeah.
But
also it makes it easier to discuss our next topic.
Yes.
For the Halloweenies.
This will be an actual review and then a discussion.
And possibly an argument again. This is the first time Isabel and I have ever disagreed.
Well, no, we don't disagree. We agree on the Let's just get right into it. Goyas and goblins. Want to pretend we're jumping into a cauldron?
Do I dive or swish? Swish.
What do witches say?
Bubble and boil.
What's that?
Oh wait, Shakespeare.
Trouble, trouble, turn and bubble.
What is it? Foul is foul and fair is fair. Hover through the fog and fill the air.
Give me your children, I want to eat them. Give me all your children. Nom, nom. Actually, that's not what witches even do. Apparently.
We've recently become educated on witches.
Yes, we're like witch experts. You can we're starting a television show.
Yeah,
called Witch Hunters.
Wizardry.
Witchcraft and wizardry.
Oh wow. Why are costumes are so problematic? They just want to be in your mouth all the time. Like men. Anyways. Okay, I'm back.
What's up, witches? We're talking about the witches.
Okay, so this past week we watched the 1990s The Witches.
Yes.
And then
the
this
2020
past Thursday, the new version came out. So
HBO Max.
Yeah. Also, there's a book and it's by Roald Dahl.
Yes.
And I read it to the girl that I babysat, and that's the only reason why I knew what was going on.
Yeah, I never read it.
I started to read it. I didn't finish because I was babysitting, and I'm not gonna read a whole book. But
regardless, you had an idea what the plot was about. I didn't. I did see the original 1990s version as a kid, so I kind of knew what I was getting myself into, but literally had not seen it since I was a kid, so didn't really remember much. I just remember Angelica Houston looking like a crazy witch with her ginormous nose and head and her grotesque body, and just being terrified of that.
Generally, I hate scary movies. I wouldn't even consider The Witches of 1990. Ooh, that kind of
The Witches of 1990.
I wouldn't consider it scary.
No.
But it was definitely very Halloween-y.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're like, the whole story starts off and the grandma's telling you what real witches are like.
Yeah.
Real witches, they have like a purple hue to their eyes.
Like a tinge of purple.
They don't have toes. Their feet stop right there.
They wear square shoes for that reason.
They don't have hair. And they're normally itching their scalps because of their wigs.
Wig rash. Wig itch.
We're real.
Yeah, this is my real hair. Or my witch. Actually,
no, that's what I'm saying.
It's a
we're
dead
witches.
giveaway.
Like, oh no.
I'm so sorry, Mom.
I'm a real witch dressing up as a witch. So you'll never know. I'm just kidding. I just stated it. What a dumbass. I could never be a witch because I'm not sneaky. I'm not conniving.
And that's the thing too, is these witches in this movie, the scary ones, they don't seem like witches. They're beautiful.
Yes.
They're elegant. They're wearing elegant clothing. And
they're supposed to trick you, and they look like regular women. And that is what gives them access to these children to make them disappear.
And they get children alone, offer them candy. And apparently, even in the book, it was supposed to be a metaphor for like stranger danger. So I kind of, you get that vibe because it's like, don't take candy from strangers or else it could be what you want to eat you.
And in the first one, the grandma's also telling her grandson that she had a friend who got put into a painting and the grandma's missing a finger and she never really explains the story.
No.
But, you know, it makes it spooky. Also, I think this one takes place in...
like England.
No, not England. I think they might have bounced to England.
Yeah, it starts off in like
Switzerland.
Switzerland or
Europe
something like
somewhere.
that. Yeah. The land of the yodel-hee-hoos. And then they go to England on an oceanside resort. You know I'm right. I'm not wrong. Yes, I can.
What?
Anyway. This oceanside resort that's just beautiful and magnificent, and it just happens to be the same place that like the League of Women Against Cruelty to Children is taking place. They're having a convention.
Yes.
So the minute they check in, so are the women.
Yeah. And
/ witches. If you're watching this right now, you have to have seen it. I'm sorry. We are going to be spoiling it. How dare you watch a movie review without having seen the movie? How dare you? It's a travesty.
I don't know.
Don't do that. We're spoiling it. So if you haven't seen it,
beware. This is your
exit now.
Official warning. See you in however long it takes to finish.
I put a spell on you. Anyways, let's start. So then we watch the new one on HBO Max.
Yes.
So right off the bat, the changes are you get Angelica Houston as the Grand High Witch. Yes. And now we have Anne Hathaway as the Grand High Witch.
So first,
let's just let's list it, and then we'll go and we'll discuss them. Okay.
All right.
So besides that, not taking in Europe, it's taking place now. It was Alabama, right?
Yeah.
It was down south.
Yeah. It did automatically give it a different vibe, though.
Yes.
Yeah. It was like there was a little bit more racial things involved than in the first one, because in the first one it was all like white people.
Well, it's definitely modernized to fit the time.
Yeah. And then,
which is we can appreciate.
Overall, the new one is a little bit more whimsical. A little more child friendly.
Yeah. It starts off with Chris Rock narrating.
Yes.
But you know what his voice sounds like.
Yeah.
And you already just his voice in general.
So that's an entirely different tone.
Yes.
Than the first
one. It's a kid's movie.
Yes.
Am I watching Madagascar?
Also, they leave out a lot of the, like in the first one, they showed his parents and the parents passing.
Yes.
In this one, they kind of like brushed through it a little faster.
See, I disagree because I feel like in the first one, all you see is the parents kissing him goodbye.
Yeah, this one's a little more traumatic.
Yeah,
because you don't know what happened to them the first time.
Yeah, they're in a car accident. The police show up at their house. Here's the scarf of your daughter.
Pulling the son out of the back
car.
seat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mommy, daddy, don't know. They're dead, and then grandma comes to get him. And that's like a good amount of the beginning is focused on the grief that he's experiencing, the grieving process. Because even she tries to. I liked that though. They acknowledge that it's not. Because I feel like in the original, it's almost like little kid didn't even know.
Yeah,
that his parents were dead. He wasn't dealing with that.
That was their way of making it, because it is it's a children's book, so it's supposed to be a children's movie, and a lot of.
But even then, the book is still darker.
Oh, yeah.
Than even the original movie. All of Roald Dahl's books are like incredibly dark. Besides that, what other changes were there?
And then the new one they made his pet mouse talk.
Yeah. And he gets two pet mice, but then in the new one it's one pet mouse, and it's a female who ends up actually just being another little girl that was turned into a mouse by a witch. Because once he turns into a mouse, they're having conversations.
Yeah, this mouse talking, honestly, huge disappointment to me.
Freaked me out. It was unnecessary.
Yeah, because this whole time he's had this pet mouse and that didn't say anything to him.
Yeah, and she was like, "Oh, I was
She's
holding
just been
off.
like, yeah,
I was
like-
just holding off."
Like he's seen him probably in his most intimate moments. I know he's a child, but like
come on,
it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I'm sorry, you gotta go.
Like, you're not part of this.
Yeah.
Like, you're a mouse, stay a mouse.
And,
yeah, that was weird.
And she was like, I'm not afraid of nothing. And
Yeah.
it was like, oh no.
It was Kristen Chenoweth also voicing the mouse, which I thought was weird because they're supposed to be. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Got wig in my eye.
Let's just start right off the bat. We didn't love it. You didn't love it.
No,
I didn't
okay,
love it.
if I had
That's
to
one
pick
thing we can agree on.
Between the 1990 version and the 2020 version, I would pick the 1990, like 1,000%.
Exactly, folks.
1,000.
Period.
I think that they should have used the layout provided by the 1990s version and maybe cleared up a few points. Because, like, explaining what happened to the parents, the
Providing more
grandmother,
mystery.
explaining why her finger's missing. I don't know if it was her thumb.
Right.
Just, like, little points like that.
Yeah, they could have made it more interesting. I think what really put the nail in the coffin for me was just how kid-friendly it was. It's PG, and so is the original. But even the original, I was like, I shouldn't be PG because this is freaky.
Yeah.
There's nothing freaky about this one. There's no darkness.
That moment when we both jumped because she's squished.
Oh, yes. So in the original, when one of her little cohort turns into a mouse.
Yeah. So one of the mice are trying to explain to the witch what happened to warn all of them
Into the convention dining room hall.
And the Grand High Witch cannot be bothered. And she just
But also, rats!
Yeah, she squishes him so fearlessly and it just pops like a water balloon.
It happened so quickly too.
And we're just like,
we both literally.
Like,
it was so funny. It's
it
so
was
funny.
funny.
It happened so fast though. That's why. It's because
funny.
he's like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And she's like,
Yeah.
oh, and
Yeah.
straight up squishes the rat. You see the
Yeah.
splat go everywhere.
if I had a second, it would have been horrifying, and I would have yacked, but it was
great.
so like quick and like out there that we would just.
It was almost violent in that
Stunned.
aspect.
Oh, it was so
you know,
violent.
but there was none of that in this one. I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean,
So in the 2020 version, there was a lot of things that I found funnier in this
Okay.
one. I didn't want it to be a funny movie though,
yeah,
because after seeing the first one and knowing that Anne Hathaway was going to play the Grand High Witch, I expected her to be elegant and act like she was the boss and running all the witches, but she put on this voice that did not stick throughout. This is the part where we disagreed. Isabel believes that Anne Hathaway should have never been casted for the part at all.
period.
I think, personally, that the character that they had, regardless of who it wasn't going to be good because the character itself was off.
The whole movie was off. It was
Yeah,
all
yeah.
kid friendly.
It,
I think in what they were giving her, she was giving it back. She was a very kid friendly witch, and she was boring.
Yes,
But she's also mousy as hell and not intimidating. I think if the movie wasn't kid friendly, it would have been worse. Her acting would have been worse. But I get it because, like you said, that's the part she was supposed to play.
Yeah.
It's just
I think that if they had her
didn't do it for me.
to have to play the same level of elegance as in the 1990s version,
Yes.
where she's just poised and she has to be a lady who blends in.
well,
and
she's
is the
and also
boss.
intimidating.
Huh?
Angelica Houston.
Oh no,
you have
I
to
know.
be intimidating, and Anna
I
Hathaway's
think
not
she could have
intimidating.
been. I think
She
given
wasn't scary.
the opportunity, she could have been, but with the voice added on top, it's already hard because we know
The
Anne
accent.
Hathaway's voice. We know she's doing an accent,
Yes.
and then it didn't there was points when we would literally just
lost
stop
it.
and we were like, that's Anne Hathaway. That's no witch.
Yeah, I felt like we were just watching Anne Hathaway.
Yeah. And so
Being quirky, whimsical. Anne
overall,
Hathaway.
she should have been a baddie, but they made her laughable. A joke.
A joke.
That felt mean, but a joke.
But besides that, like even then, just all the differences just didn't make sense. They made Anne Hathaway didn't even put on a whole thing. Like she had just a large mouth. That was their sign as a witch. They had a mouth that like started over here and it looked like Pennywise or like you said, Venom. And I just think if you're not going to eat the children, there's no point in having a ginormous mouth.
You're right.
The whole aspect of having a witch face with the warts and everything like that, that's scary. That's witchy. And not whatever they gave us. Her arms like contorted and went across the room and it's just
like branches.
What is this?
Like they threw in a little Pinocchio. They threw in everything. But
it was just
overall, the whole story, the whole thing that they're basing it off of is that they're supposed to be sneaky. Watch out, they'll get you. They're sneaky. There was nothing sneaky about this version.
Yeah.
She's
their outfits.
Throwing freaking tables.
Yeah, she's throwing things across the room.
Everything and ruining everything.
Damaging property.
Yeah, and then she's supposed to be like, oh, I'm just a little lady. Like
it was just so many weird things about it.
It's going to be so awkward when we're trying to talk about the witches with someone and we're going to have to be like, the 1990s.
Yeah, like not the Anne Hathaway one, honey. No.
And that's going to be the one that's relevant. That's going to be so awkward.
They're going to be like, there's an original? And they're going to be like, oh, I want to die. I put a spell on you.
Yeah.
I think I liked the original's quirkiness, though. There were men dressed up like the witches in the original, which we caught. I remember like tapping and be like, is that a man? Oh, that's a man. Because there were men in dressed, like they were just dressed up like the witches, which was like so subtle, but oh my God, if you like, it's just so funny to catch.
Yeah.
It was quirky.
It makes it more notable when they're doing a transformation. It's like they went from these slender, like elegant women to being just men like, oh, like, let me.
Doing men things.
Ew. I don't want to see what my voice looks like. But yeah,
I don't know. If you were to rate it 5 out of 5 stars, what would you give it?
Okay, so the first witches, the 1990s, I'm gonna give a 4.5.
Great.
Because there were some things unanswered.
Oh yeah, but 4.5 is great still.
No, I know that's like the highest score I've ever given.
I know. I'm like amazed. That's like golden star. That's like golden sticker. Anyways. Okay, what about the new one?
I'm stressed.
This special case.
I think like a 1.
Like a 1. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Boy, and a 1 just because any lower is just disrespectful.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Especially in comparison, there was less answered. I was left with more questions. There was no fear. It was like a straight up, like, awkward, cringy comedy.
It was just dumb. It was just dumb.
Yeah.
Big fat.
No, it's just like if you're gonna do something,
do it right.
Do it better.
Don't waste everyone's time.
Use their version to grow from.
Yeah. Also, I think what's disappointing is Guillermo del Toro. You know, he was one of the 3 people who wrote the screenplay, and you know I love that man. But what was this?
Yeah.
What was this, Guillermo? What did you give me?
I'm sure there was a reason.
Like normally this man could shit on a platter and he'd be like, it smells great. This is wonderful. But this is some smelly shit. Unacceptable. I don't understand.
What would you give it?
Oh, 2.5.
Oh, you did nice. Actually, you always do nice with me. I'm just kidding.
Also because even though I did not like it, capital D, did not. There was a couple times where there was like cute jokes or like cute lines.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So once in a while, we were throwing a good line or two.
I can't remember a single thing that I laughed at, but I know that I laughed at things.
So if you want to see it, recommend seeing it. If you've seen the original, just know that it's nothing like the original. And it's very kid-friendly.
No, yeah, watch both. Watch both and get back to us because...
Maybe you feel differently. Maybe you love Anne Hathaway. I don't know. Tell me.
Explain
I'll
to
prove
me
you wrong.
why things were the way they were.
Explain
That's
to
what
me
I want.
why.
I
Give
want
me answers.
answers.
Yeah. Actually, Roald Dahl, if you're watching this, you're the guy we want to talk to. Make it make sense. He probably feels the same way, actually.
He's still alive.
If we're mad. I would say watch it. And I don't really care what you have to say about it because it's not a good movie. No, that's rude. Sorry. I do care what you have to say about
She
it.
does believe that it could
Equal-
be better. But
yeah.
if you want to explain or tell us your thoughts on the movie, we accept them with open.
Cauldrons, because we'll throw them in there and mix them with our potions. We're sticking to a witchy theme, bitches.
I feel like we're dragging now.
I would just say witches. How do we end it? I want to like jump into something else. What else do witches do? Like fly off on broomsticks? Yeah, they do.
Okay,
I don't know why that was a question.
spell.
I know they do because I'm a witch. So what should we do? Should we fly off into the distance?
Do a spell and throw your hat directly at a camera.